And we welcome you guys to the Frostbank Center here in San Antonio, Texas. I am Vinny from VW Productions, and we're bringing you another exciting edition of the 2025-2026 NBA season playthrough for NBA2K26 here on YouTube. If you are new to this channel, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button as we have an exciting matchup, the final interconference matchup in schedule block number 4, featuring the San Antonio Spurs hosting the Chicago Bulls. We look at Keldon Johnson's statistics, averaging 11 points per game here, as we have the visiting Bulls coming into this game at 43-31. They have clinched a spot in the Eastern Conference playoffs as we look at the starting lineups with Chris Paul, Kobe White, Ayo Dosunmu, Patrick Williams, and Nikola Vucevic. As we look at head coach Billy Donovan of the Chicago Bulls. And for the Spurs, we have De'Aaron Fox, Stephon Castle, Devin Vassell, Keldon Johnson, and Victor Wembanyama. The Bulls are in their road reds, while we have the Spurs in gray and black, as the Bulls will win the tip here. Chris Paul getting a start. I believe that's his first start in a watch game with as a member of the Chicago Bulls. Probably the first start I've seen him in a watch game, whether he had his time with the Clippers or the Bulls, as he hits a three to start this game. As I said, the Bulls are 43-31, first place in the Central Division, third in the Eastern Conference. They are one of 3 teams to actually have punched their ticket. I see Wembanyama will get the offensive rebound and the putback. The Bulls are in the Eastern Conference playoffs. They do not have to worry about the play-in tournament. They are 2.5 games ahead of the Milwaukee Bucks with 8 to play. As you see Vucevic for 3. Vucevic, as he actually was on the injured list for a while. He was out, but he's now back in the lineup. The Bulls are fully healthy. Fox coming around with the layup. That's in there. De'Aaron Fox averaging 23.1 points a game this season. As I said, the Bulls are 2.5 games ahead of the Milwaukee Bucks with 8 to play. A game and a half behind the Hawks for number 2, so they still have an outside shot again at number 2 seed. Chris Paul, jumper is in, it's good. And for the San Antonio Spurs, they're at this game at 42-32, third in the Southwest Division, but 9th in the Eastern Conference. They are one game ahead of the the Phoenix Suns for 9th, but 1 game behind Dallas for 8th. I see Dosunmu there with the slam dunk. Kobe White will get the assist there. But what I was saying, though, is that the Spurs are now 1 game behind Dallas for 8th. I think for the Spurs, their goal, because they're not going to catch I don't think they're going to catch the Lakers. As you see, Vassell will get or Castle there will get the points there. For the Spurs, they're not going to catch the Lakers for the 6th spot, but they do want to play at least get in the 8th, so they can at least win 1. Because if you get the 7 or 8 spot, you only have to win 1 game in the play-in tournament. As De'Aaron Fox with the 3 there, and he brings the Spurs within 9. So that's the goal, I think, for the Spurs. Finish strong and finish at least 8th. Maybe even get 7th and host that play-in game. I see Chris Paul for 3. That's off the back iron. Keldon Johnson grabbing the rebound. So that is it for scenarios and how the standings are looking right now. This is the final game of the month of March. We're in Monday, March 30th, 2026, as Kobe White will come with the steal. 3.5 minutes into this game, 10-9, the Bulls on top. As Fox will come with the steal. This is over to Castle. Castle back over to Vassell. Vassell puts it up, and the Spurs will lead for the first time in this game. Devin Vassell. I see Chris Paul with it. This is back over to Williams, over to Dosunmu. Back to Vucevic. He's going to come around. He's going to go to the line. Count it. Wembanyama called for the foul. And Vucevic. As Nikola Vucevic will be at the line shooting the N1 opportunity. Or is it Vucevic? Sometimes I can't get the PA announcer. Wemby with it. Dish it over to Fox. 15 on the shot clock, over to Vassell for three. That is off the back iron. Kobe White grabbing the rebound. If you like what you see, don't forget to see Vassell with the steal. If you like what you see, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button as De'Aaron Fox will come around with the slam dunk. I said, this is March 30th, 2026, the final day of the game, final game in the month of March, which means tomorrow's video will be a full update on statistics where we go over the top 10 in each relevant player and team category, as well as go over award races, who won the players of the month, who's the front runners for MVP and everything. And then we'll go over the full standings, as well as Stephen Castle will get the bucket and the Bulls are on top by 2 again. The Bulls shooting 5 and 9 early on, while the Spurs shooting 7 to 10. Vucevic with 17 points and 5 rebounds in their win against the Grizzlies. And he'll get the slam dunk there. We are tied at 15. Player, I think that's Dylan Harper waiting to come into the game for the Spurs. It's in there for De'Aaron Fox. Fox for three. That's in there. And De'Aaron Fox put in the Spurs up by 3. He's averaging 21.9 points a game here at the Frostbank Center. As Ayo Dosunmu. Actually, back over to Vucevic. Over to Vucevic. Or Vukovic. So yeah, I guess it is Vukovic with the bucket there, and the Bulls are within 1. Vassell. This should back over to Fox. Fox for 3. He nails it. De'Aaron Fox with the 3. And Chris Paul with it crossing the half-court line here. 5:15 to play in the first. 21-17, the Spurs on top. Look at it there. Over to Vukovic. Vukovic. Good to come around, and he'll miss that one. Wembanyama with the rebounds. We're under 5 minutes of play here in the first. Over to Johnson. Kelvin Johnson with the bucket. And Chris Paul will have it crossing the half-court line. Timeout, Chicago. We're going to take our first timeout. The Spurs leading it by 6, 4:48 to play in the first. Coming out of the timeout here, we got substitutions looking for the San Antonio Spurs here. We have Harper, Harrison Barnes coming into the game, as Keldon Johnson's going to be moving into another position. See Billy Donovan not too happy right now, as Williams will inbound it. 19 on the shot clock. Back over to Chris Paul. Vukovic. Get it over to Kobe White. Kobe White coming around. This is it back over to Chris Paul. Chris Paul for 3. That's in and out. Dylan Harper grabbing the rebound as he just checked into the game. Back over to Harrison Barnes. Another player that checked into the game. That is no good. Barnes tried to get the assist to his former Sacramento teammates there. Both of them, as I said, instrumental in getting this team into, getting that Kings team to lighten the beam, the first beam team, getting to the playoffs, ending that 17-year playoff drought. But really have not come close since then. And of course, we know Barnes and Fox are gone. Fox for 3. That is off the back iron. Harrison Barnes getting the rebound to shoot it back over to Fox. Fox coming around, passing it over to Wembanyama. 5 on the shot clock. Wembanyama to Harper. Harper for 3. No good. Vukovic will get the rebound. We have Kobe White here, 16 on the shot clock. 9 on the shot clock. White for 3. That's no good. Keldon Johnson grabbing the rebound. Over Fox for 3. No good. Dosunmu grabbing the rebound. Over to Chris Paul. Back over to Williams here. 2:53 to play. Over to Ayo Dosunmu. Dosunmu with a deep shot. That's in there. It breaks the drought for, I believe, for both teams, actually. You know, the Bulls had a little bit of a longer drought. 4-point lead, 23-19. Monsters Inc. score. Barnes for three, no good. Vukovic will get the rebound. Dosunmu for the Chicago Bulls has it. They should back over to Chris Paul here. Paul dishes over to Vukovic. He's going to come around. That dishes over to Dosunmu. Dosunmu for three as time expires on the shot clock. No good. Wembanyama will grab the rebound. Keldon Johnson has it now for the Spurs. Make it over to Fox. Fox for three. No good. Chris Paul with the rebound. Ayo Dosunmu. Dishes over to Kobe White. Kobe White back over to Paul. Paul has it again. Feeds it to Williams. Williams feeds the rock to Vucevic. Dishes it back out to Paul. And there's a three by Dosunmu, no good. Spurs going the other way. Spurs out rebounding the Bulls 11-7. Keldon Johnson back over to Barnes. 12 on the shot clock. Wemby for three. That's back-to-back iron. White will come down with the rebound. Chris Paul for three, no good. Vukovic will get the offensive rebound and a put in. And the Bulls within two. Under a minute to play here in the first. And we have a timeout called by the Spurs. 56.9 left in the first. Spurs up by two. We'll take a timeout. Substitutions coming out of timeout here. Josh Giddey coming into the game. Terry Herter for the Bulls. We'll get some more. I know Sohan's going to come into the game. We'll get some of the lineup set here under the last minute of the play in the first quarter. 23-21, Sohan will inbound it to Harrison Barnes. He stays into the game. Luke Cornett also into the game for the Spurs. There's a shot up by Harrison Barnes. That's in there. Smith checks into the game. I know Giddey checked into the game. Herter, you see, he checked into the game. He gets the, he inbounded it to Giddey. Giddey's coming around with the layup. That's in there. Giddy up, let's go. As I said, the date of this game is March 30th, 2026. The upload day will be January 31st, 2026. So this is about like 2 months ahead. And I'm hoping I can keep it there. It's Dylan Harper for three, no good. Buzelis and Terry into the game as well. Matas Buzelis, I think he had to start in one game. Buzelis coming around. He'll get that shot up. That's no good, and that will do it for the first quarter. The end of one. The Spurs leading the Bulls 25-23. You're watching the 2025-2026 season playthrough here on YouTube. We'll be back to start the second quarter. Getting ready to start the second quarter here in San Antonio. Sohan will inbound it to Devin Vassell. He checks back into the game to start the second quarter. Cornett, as well as Dylan Harper and Harrison Barnes while on the court for the Spurs. As there's a three-pointer made by the Spurs, and they lead it by 5. Jones, Collins, Herter, Giddey, and then who else is out on the court? All right, and Buzelis. Those are the 5 on the court to start the second quarter for the Bulls. I see Vassell coming around over to Sohan. Back over to Barnes. Can't believe that we only have maybe about a few weeks left of this regular season as Cornett will get the offensive rebound off the three-point miss. Vassell for three. He nails it. Devin Vassell putting the Spurs up by 8. Josh Giddey dishes it back over to Collins. Collins back to Giddey. Giddey with it over to Buzelis. Buzelis coming around, and Buzelis will get the layup. Easy layup there by Matas Buzelis. Vassell will have it here as we're a minute and a half into the game. As I believe Stephen Castle is going to come check back into the game now as Giddey called for his first personal foul. Devin Vassell going to go to the line shooting 2.
Take a break. 2 shots.
If you like what you see so far, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button and hit the bell icon to receive notifications when these videos do come out. As Vassell will hit the first one, Cornett's going to go to the bench. Let's see for the Bulls also, as Collins going to go to the bench for Nicholas Batum. Rare sighting for him. And for the Spurs, Castle, Harper, Vassell, Barnes. As Vassell will hit them both. Jones takes the inbound from Herter. Nicholas Batum, I don't remember calling his name. I think maybe the first game or two. But I know the last couple times I don't think we've seen Batum play, as there's a reach-in foul called against Vassell. That's his first personal, and we will see as Batum's going to go to the bench. Buzelis back into the game, and Esang. I think it's Ensong. I think that's how you pronounce his name. There's Giddey with it. 2 on the shot clock. Giddey for 3. No good. Vassell will grab the rebound. This might be the last. Who knows how many times we'll see these two teams in the regular season. Buzelis will grab the rebound. So last time we'll see them in schedule block number 4 is Herter for 3. That is no good. Barnes will grab the rebound. Sohan has it. Over to Vassell. Vassell with the layup. That's in there. It's a 10-point lead for the Spurs here. 20 on the shot clock. Giddey with it. Giddey coming around. Herter for 3. Red Velvet will miss it off the back iron. Giddey had 17 points and 9 rebounds in their win against the Memphis Grizzlies in their last game. I believe that was a win that officially eliminated the Grizzlies from play-in contention. As Vassell, he has 11 points in this game, and it's a 12-point lead for the Spurs. Said this game coming from the Frostbank Center. That is off the back iron. Barnes will grab the rebound. Buzelis coming around with the steal, dishing it back over to Herter. Herter back to Buzelis. Buzelis with the slam dunk. Herter gets the assist there, and look at that. Harrison Barnes getting that baseball pass from Stefan Castle, and it's back to a 12-point lead again. Herter for 3, no good. Sohan has the rebound. Stefan Castle with it. Castle back over to Barnes. Barnes back to Castle, over to Harper. Harper for 3, off the back iron. Isong will get the rebound. Kevin Herter with it. Dishing it back over to Jones. Jones for 3, no good. Castle will get the rebound. Dishing it back over to Vassell. Vassell coming around. Harper with it. Back over to Sohan. Dishing it over to Castle. Castle for 3. No good. Giddey grabbing a rebound. Over to Kevin Herter. Red Velvet with it. Dishing it back over to Giddey. Giddey back to Herter. 8 on the shot clock. Herter with it. 4 on the shot clock. She's over to Buzelis. Buzelis with the shot up. No good. Sohan will grab the rebound. We got 20 on the shot clock here with the Spurs leading it by 12. 6:45 to play in the first. As Dylan Harper will get the bucket there. It's a 14-point lead for the Spurs. Spurs shooting 17 of 32 compared to the Bulls 12 of 31. Giddey crossing half court. Timeout called. We're going to take a timeout as well. 14-point lead for the Spurs. 6:33 to play in the second. Coming out of the timeout, let's look at the lineup reset here. We have Paul, White, Dosunmu, Buzelis, and Williams out on the court for the Bulls coming out of the timeout. And for the Spurs, we will have Fox, Castle, Vassell, Barnes, and Wembanyama. 6:33 to play here in the second quarter. It's a 14-point lead for the Spurs. The Bulls had a little early hot start, but it's been the Spurs since then. Dosunmu over to Buzelis. Buzelis back over to Dosunmu. Dosunmu for three, no good. Wembanyama with the rebound. De'Aaron Fox with it. As you look at the rebounds, 22 to 13, the edge. Sohan got a quick breather here. He's about to come back out on the court. That is no good as White will have the rebound. Halfway through the second quarter, 41-27 Spurs on top. Game coming to you from the Frost Bank Center in San Antonio, part of the 2025-2026 season playthrough as Buzelis is going to come around. No good. Harrison Barnes with the rebound. Over to Stephon Castle. Over to Fox. Fox. He drains it. It's a 16-point lead for De'Aaron Fox. 23.1 points on average, as I said, this season. And who else is coming back into the game? White with it. Over to Williams. Williams for three. That's in there, and that will break the drought for the Bulls as they are within 13. Fox for three. That's in there. De'Aaron Fox, a 16-point lead once again for the Spurs. Buzelis back over to White. There's White. He's in there. Kobe White for three. And the Bulls within 13. Gives it back over to Barnes. To Fox. Fox with the layup. That's in there. De'Aaron Fox had 29 points in their win against the Milwaukee Bucks. As I said, this is a huge game for both teams. As I said, the Bulls want to try to clinch a playoff spot, but they're also fighting for the number 2 seed. But Chris Paul with the bucket there. But as I said, the Spurs, though, want to try to increase their chances of moving into that number 8 spot here. As we have a timeout for the Spurs here. 3:50 to play. They're up by 15. We're going to take a timeout. We're looking at the lineup set coming out of the timeout now. The substitutions are being made. Paul, White, Dosunmu, Williams, and Vukovic. And for the Spurs, we got Fox, Harper, Castle, Sohan, and Wemby. Those are the lineup sets coming out of this timeout. Here's De'Aaron Fox. Dishes it over to Sohan. Sohan with a jumper. That is in and out. Vukovic will get the rebound. White has it for the... Now dishes it back over to Chris Paul. Oh, look at that. For a second. Chris Paul coming around. Dishes it back over to Kobe White. 3 on the shot clock. 2 on the shot clock. Kobe White. That's no good. Jeremy Sohan will grab the rebound. De'Aaron Fox coming around with it. Fox dishes it back over to Wemby. Wembanyama for 3. He nails it. It's a 16-point lead again. As Vukovic will get the slam dunk. The Bulls within 14. 2:45 to play in the second. And that's not an alley-oop attempt. That was even a failed alley-oop attempt as Vukovic will get the rebound. Chris Paul with it. Back over to Kobe White. Back to Dosunmu. Dosunmu for 3. He nails it. Ayo Dosunmu putting the Bulls within 11 here. 2:20 to play until half. Wemby for 3. That's in there. Victor Wembanyama. It's a 14-point lead. Two minutes to play in the second. Ayo Dosunmu, and that is a shooting foul called against Stefan Castle, but they said it was not a continuation, as there's going to be no and one opportunity, but there is going to be free throws for Dosunmu. Looking at the scoring breakdown for the Spurs, 36 points off of assist, 8 already three-pointers made. As Dosunmu will miss the first one here. We look at the new lineup set for the Spurs after the substitutions. We have Fox, Castle, Vassell, Johnson, and Wembanyama. Dosunmu will hit the second one. Stephen Castle with it. Crossing the half-court line here at the Frostbank Center. As I said, less than 2 minutes to play until halftime. Stephen Castle for three. No good. Vukovic will get the rebound as White will have the rebound. White coming around. Kobe White with the layup. Kobe White with 11 points, and it's a 54-43 lead for the Spurs here. Under a minute to play, minute 15 to play as Stefan Castle with a bucket. 1:05 to play here in the second. Dosunmu for three. That's off the back iron. Fox will grab the rebound. Johnson with it. Coming around. Johnson for three. For two, I should say. It's a 15-point lead for the Spurs. I'm sorry. I'm having a little bit of a hard time here, guys. Dosunmu for three. No good. Johnson will get the rebound. Devin Vassell with a bucket there, the largest lead for the Spurs at 17. Under 30 seconds of play until halftime. Kobe White, some moves there for him, bringing the Bulls to within 15. Shot clock turned off. Second, almost halftime here in San Antonio with the Spurs up by 15. Fox is going to hold on for the last shot. Coming around, maybe not. He will get the bucket anyway. 3 seconds to play, 17-point lead. Paul gonna get a deep shot off, no good, and that will do it for the first half. The San Antonio Spurs having their way with the Chicago Bulls. They're leading it 62-45. I am Vinny from Vita Productions, and we are gonna take it to halftime here. You're watching the 2025-2026 season playthrough here on YouTube. Get ready to start the third quarter It's a 17-point lead for the Spurs right now. As you see, they're being led by De'Aaron Fox with 22 points. We'll look at some of those highlights here. As I said, if you enjoy what you're watching, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button and hit the bell icon to receive notifications when these videos do come out. As I said, right now, NBA 2K content this season playthrough is the exclusive gaming content that are going to be out until MLB The Show, when I do a similar thing for the 2026 season. And then also, I do have a Cash App link that will be in the description down below. I see Stephen Castle with the slam dunk to start the third quarter, 64-45. I see Kobe White with it. That's off the back iron. Vassell will grab the rebound. But just to let everybody know that it is not required to donate to my Cash App to enjoy my content. That's just to help support this channel. I see Wembanyama, Vucevic almost lost it for a second, but he was able to grab the rebound. I thought Wemby had the steal for a second. Kobe White back over to Paul. 7 on the shot clock. Paul with a shot up. That is no good. Vassell will grab the rebound. I see De'Aaron Fox and the Spurs want to try to get at least to the 8th seed to finish off as the 8th spot in the Western Conference. So they only have to play one. So they only have to win one play-in game to get into the NBA playoffs. As Vucevic will miss that one here. Gives over to Chris Paul, the former Clipper. Back over to Vucevic. He's going to come around. He'll get the shot up, but that is no good, but he is fouled in the act of shooting, so that means he's going to go to the line for 2, as Wemby called for 2, his second. Vucevic. As Nikola Vucevic getting on the line. And Vucevic will hit the first one. Bringing the deficit to within 18 for Chicago. He'll miss the second one. Wembanyama will grab the rebound. As we're over almost 2 minutes into the second quarter, Keldon Johnson with the bucket that's in there, and the Spurs are on top by 20. Vassell will get the assist there, as you see Chris Paul taking the inbound here, crossing the half-court line. Kobe White has it over to Vucevic. 10 on the shot clock now. Chris Paul over to Kobe White. White for 3, no good. Vassell will grab the rebound. Vassell, this is back over to Johnson for the Fox for 3 off the back iron. Vucevic will get the rebound. Chris Paul over to Kobe White. Paul for 3. That's in there, no good. Wembanyama. This is over to Johnson. Johnson will miss that one. Williams will get the rebound. It was over to Desumo. Vucevic with it. Dishing it back, and that is off the back iron. That's going to be tipped out of bounds, and that's going to be Bulls ball with 14 on the shot clock. As we look at the shooting guards position for the last free throw percentage between shooting guards in the last 10 games, we got Kobe White in 5th here, as we have a timeout called by the Bulls. 8:37 to play in the third. We're going to take a timeout. Doesn't look like we'll have any lineup resets here, as everybody who's on the court will be staying on the court. Coming out of this timeout here at 66-46, Bulls on top. 8:37 to play in the third. Bulls retain possession after the ball going out of bounds, but they have 14 on the shot clock. To Chris Paul. 10 on the shot clock now. Over to Vucevic. That's no good. Wembanyama will grab the rebound here. Devin Vassell has it for the Spurs. Over to Johnson. Keldon Johnson with it. Dishes it back over to Vassell. Over to De'Aaron Fox. 9 on the shot clock. Fox for 3. Or no, deep 2. De'Aaron Fox with 24 points. 8 of them mid-range, and it's a 22-point lead for the Spurs. Chris Paul, 8 on the shot clock. Back over to Williams. Williams for 3. That is in and out. Johnson grabbing the rebound. The Spurs out rebound the Bulls 33-21 at this point in the third quarter. De'Aaron Fox for 3. That's off the back iron. Dosunmu grabbing the rebound. Ayo Dosunmu with a layup there, going coast to coast. Bulls within 20. Johnson for 3. That's off the back iron as we got Kobe White with the rebound. Kobe White coming back over to Dosunmu. Over to Chris Paul. Paul for 3, and that's in there. Chris Paul draining a 3. Bringing the deficit to 17. Everybody still remember like that 40-point deficit where Chris Paul hit it and you heard, oh, Paul brings it within 40-something. And there's a miss right there. Vucevic with the rebound. Or Vucevic with the rebound as you see Dosunmu had it. Back over to Kobe White. Kobe White, deep 2. That's off the back iron. Wembanyama will grab the rebound. Johnson coming around with the bucket that's in there. Timeout, Bulls. 6:06 to play. It's a 19-point lead for the Spurs. 6:06 left in the third. We're going to take a timeout. Kind of wonder, do we have a lineup substitution right now? Still halfway through the third quarter. Doesn't show any. Vucevic will give it over to Paul. Hearing defense chants still by some of the crowd here with their team up by 19 here as we're over halfway through the third quarter. Williams with it, the Paul, Kobe White, and Dosunmu. I believe the starting lineups are still out for both teams at this stage of the game. Vucevic, and that's going to be a 24-second shot clock violation as he didn't get the ball off here. As you see Chris Paul this season shooting only 42%, but in the last 10 games he shot a lot better at 62%. And now we have our first substitution of the quarter. Kobe White going to the bench. Dosunmu moving to shooting guard as Josh Giddey will be in that small forward. And for the Spurs, Fox, and then we'll have Harper coming into the game. Vassell, Johnson, and Wemby still out on the court. They will go to Wembanyama. Dishes it back over to Fox. Fox for 3. He nails it. It's a 22-point lead for the Spurs. Josh Giddey dishes it back over to Chris Paul. Back over to Vucevic. Vucevic with it. Dishes it back over to Giddey. Giddey for 3. No good. Harper will grab the rebound. So we're approaching 5 minutes to play here in the third. Keldon Johnson coming around with the layup. It's a 24-point lead for the Spurs. Spurs will have a winning season in this universe. They're actually a lot exciting in real life, actually. I see Vucevic will get the layup there. He has 17 points. 4.5 to play here in the third. Wemby with it. Wemby, what you doing? This is over to Harper. Harper for 3. That's in and out. Vucevic will get the rebound. Over to Josh Giddey. Back over to Vucevic. Over to Giddey. 10 on the shot clock, being guarded by Vassell. Giddey's going to come around with the layup. That's in there. It's a 20-point game. Josh Giddey averaging 18.1 points away from the UC. De'Aaron Fox over to Wembanyama, and Wembanyama with the slam dunk. That's good ball movement there, and that could be a possible YouTube short for this game. And there, as we see Dosunmu over to Chris Paul. Paul back over to Giddey. 3:15 on the shot clock. Giddey for three. In and out. Harper will grab the rebound. Give it over to Johnson now. Johnson back to Fox. Wembanyama. There's a bucket up there. That's no good. Williams will grab the rebound. Chris Paul over to Dosunmu. Dosunmu for three. He nails it. Ayo Dosunmu bringing it to within 19. De'Aaron Fox over to Dylan Harper. 2.5 to play in the third. It's a 19-point lead. To see De'Aaron Fox will put them up by 21 again. Fox has 29 points in this game. I believe he's leading the way for the Spurs. They see Chris Paul. They should get back over to Giddey. 10 on the shot clock here. Vucevic for three, no good. De'Aaron Fox with the rebound. 2 minutes remaining in the third. Give it over to Fox, back to Johnson, and Johnson will get the bucket. 23-point lead for San Antonio. Giddey back over to Paul. Chris Paul for three, no good. Vassell will grab the rebound. Get it back over to Dylan Harper. Harper with it. He gets the layup, and it's a 25-point lead. The Spurs shooting 56% to the Bulls 40%. You look at Matas Buzelis and company, just like, we want to get out on the court. Feeling helpless right now with their team down by now 23 again after that Vucevic dunk. Chris Paul will get the assist there. Harper back over to Fox. Fox dishes back over to Wembanyama here, under a minute to play here. 5 on the shot clock here. Wembanyama with the layup. That's in there. It's 85-60. Chris Paul with it. As you see Sohan. Giddey with it here. Holding on to it here. Last 10 seconds on the shot clock. Giddey for three. That's off the back iron. Fox will have it. Back over to Keldon Johnson here. 18 on the shot clock. Fox over to Vassell. Vassell for three. No good. Williams with the rebound. Shot clock turned off for the Bulls. He's back over to Giddey. Giddey for three. No good. Johnson with the rebound. There's Harper for a deep three. Doesn't really matter anyway. We're at the end of the third. The Spurs leading the Bulls 85-60. We'll be back to start the fourth. You're watching the 2025-2026 season playthrough here on YouTube and VW Productions. No assist of the game, I guess, right now. I see Giddey will take the inbound from Smith here, trailing by 25. Giddey, White, Smith, Herter, and Buzelis out to start the quarter, as Josh Giddey will get the layup to start the fourth quarter. Sohan, Fox, I believe that's Dylan Harper, Stephon Castle, and Harrison Barnes are out on the court to start the fourth quarter, I should say. As De'Aaron Fox with the bucket. As we see, there's a three-point attempt. No good there. You see De'Aaron Fox with it. Dish it over to Sohan, and Sohan will miss that one. Kevin Huerter will get the rebound there as you see Kobe White with it. Kobe. Dish it over, back over to Huerter here. 10 on the shot clock. Huerter will get the three-point shot up. That's in there. Kevin Huerter. As I said, since this is the last game in the month of March, don't forget tomorrow we will have the standings, awards, races, and statistics update video for after the month of March. That will be tomorrow's video, and then Monday's video will have a Western Conference matchup. I see Harrison Barnes for three, and they put the Spurs up by that puts the Spurs up by 25 again. We'll have a Western Conference matchup featuring the Los Angeles Lakers at the Oklahoma City Thunder. It's the last time we will see the Thunder and the Lakers in schedule block number 4. As you see, there's a deep 2. That will be on Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern. And then Tuesday will be Houston at Golden State to end schedule block number 4. Because that will start the final week of the regular season, as we have crunch time. And it's going to depend on how the spots are right now. Huerter for three, no good. As I said, these teams were either in a play-in or a playoff spot for the schedule block to start off after the All-Star break. As you see, Giddey will get the rebound off the Sohan miss, with the Spurs up by 23 right now with 9:03 to play here in the fourth. Kobe White for three. He's in there. And it deficits within 20. See De'Aaron Fox with a jump shot. That's no good. Smith will grab the rebound. Huerter with it. The Bulls start this quarter trailing by 25. And they have it within 20 here. 8.5 to play here in the fourth. This is over to Huerter, and Kevin Huerter with a layup. It's an 18-point game. Smith with the assist there. As I said, starting Monday, we'll start the month of April. Don't forget, when this game is over with, we are not done yet. For those who are new, we do the game as well as we go over the player stats. Then we go over the post-game ticker for the games. For the games played between today for this game, and then of course April 1st and April 2nd. Or no, for the rest of this day, March 31st and April 1st. As there's Huerter for three. That is off the back iron. Harper will grab the rebound. De'Aaron Fox with it. There's Harrison Barnes. Dishing it back over to Harrison Barnes. He'll get it in. The shot is good, and Harrison Barnes putting the Spurs with up by 20 again here. Josh Giddey is it back over to Smith. Back to Huerter. Huerter with the layup, and the Bulls are within 18. See De'Aaron Fox, timeout. Spurs, 6:49 to play. They're up by 18. We're going to take a timeout. Let's look at the lineup set now coming out of the timeout here. For the Bulls, we got Paul, White, Dosunmu, Williams, and Vucevic. And for the Spurs, we will see Harper, Vassell, Johnson, Barnes, and Wembanyama coming out of timeout here. 20 on the shot clock as you see Wembanyama inbounds into Johnson. Back over to Dylan Harper. Johnson over to Barnes. Barnes for three. He nails it, and the Spurs are on top by 21. 6.5 left here in the fourth. 95-74. The Spurs on top of the Bulls. Dosunmu for three. That's in there. Io. Better chill out. Dosunmu. You see Wembanyama gives it over to Vassell. Back to Wembanyama for the slam dunk. And the Spurs up by 20 again. Spurs shooting 42 of 77 to the Bulls, 32 of 73. Vucevic holding on to it right now as we have Kobe White with it to shoot it back over to Williams. Over to Dosunmu. 4 on the shot clock. Dosunmu for 3, and that is off the front rim, and that's going to be Dylan Harper getting the rebound. 20-point lead for the Spurs. Vassell for 3. That's in there. And the Spurs have reached the century mark. Up by 23. Game's final 5:05 to play. White jumps up, no good. Wembanyama grabbing the rebound. Gives it back over to Harper. 12 on the shot clock. Gives it over to Wembanyama. 5 on the shot clock. Harper with it. Harper for 3. That is no good. Vucevic will get the rebound. There's Dosunmu for 3. That's no good. Harper will have the rebound. Wembanyama back over to Vassell. Vassell for 3. No good. Vucevic will grab the rebound there, and that's Chris Paul. 20 on the shot clock. Dosunmu back over to White. Back to Chris Paul. Over to Dosunmu. 5 on the shot clock. Dosunmu for 3. That's off the back iron. Wembanyama grabbing the rebound. Harper has it. Back over to Vassell. 3.5 to play. Vassell for 3. No good. Dosunmu grabbing the rebound. Chris Paul over to Vucevic. That's off the back iron. Barnes will have the rebound there as Dylan Harper will have it. Vassell with it. Barnes for 3. No good. Dosunmu, and there's going to be a timeout called by the Bulls. 2:59 to play. Spurs on top by 23. We're going to take a timeout. As we look at the lineup set, coming out of timeout here, Chris Paul is going to be replaced by Giddey, but the rest of the lineup will remain the same for the Bulls. For the Spurs, let's see here, Fox, Castle, Vassell, Johnson, and Wembanyama. So the starters are going to finish this game out. Giddey, though, in for Chris Paul. Vucevic back over to Kobe White. White for 3 off the back iron. Vassell grabbing a rebound. No points for the Bulls in the last 3:43 and counting. Wemby with it. Back over to Castle. By the time the Bulls get their next points, it'll be 4 minutes. Over to Castle here. Castle. That is off the back iron. Giddey will grab the rebound here. I believe that drought is now over 4 minutes for the Bulls. Vucevic back over to Kobe White, and Kobe White will end that drought. I know that was over a 4-minute drought there. Two minutes left to play. It's a 20-point lead for the Spurs. And that's blocked by Vucevic. And no, actually that did not go off of him. That's actually going to be Bulls ball. Giddey with it. Don't forget, as I said, when we are done, when this game is over with, we are not done yet. As we have stats as well, player stats as well as the post-game ticker, as you see Castle grabbing the rebound. And then also the injury report. Followed by my sign-off. As I said, no game tomorrow will be the, as you see a three-pointer made there, no actual game tomorrow. The video is going to be awards the award races, stats, and standings update after March of 2026. You see Vucevic, who missed that one here. Wemby will grab the rebound here. De'Aaron Fox holding on to it right now. 17 on the shot clock. De'Aaron Fox coming around. No good. Giddey with the rebound. Williams with it. 13 on the shot clock. Back over to Dosunmu. 5 on the shot clock. Back over to White. Over to Giddey. Giddey for 3. No good. Victor Wembanyama grabbing the rebound. Shot clock is still on, so the Spurs do have to get one more shot. Wemby coming around with a dunk, with a layup. That's no good. Giddey will grab the rebound here. Got across the half-court line. They do. Do they get a shot up? They probably will not. And that will be a final. The Bulls will fall to 43-32 on the season, while the Spurs will have the identical 43-32 record as they defeat the Bulls 103-80. And that's going to be a huge boost for the Spurs right there, as again, they're trying to maybe fight for the 8th spot. But stay tuned, we are not done yet. And now it's time to look at the player statistics for this game. Starting off with the victorious San Antonio Spurs with De'Aaron Fox, player of the game, 31 points, 3 rebounds, 6 assists, and a steal. Devin Vassell with 16 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists, and 1 steal. Victor Wembanyama, double-double, 14 points, 15 rebounds, and 1 steal. Keldon Johnson with 12 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, followed by Harrison Barnes with an identical 12 points, but he had 8 rebounds and 2 assists. Stephon Castle with 11 points, 2 rebounds, 4 assists. Dylan Harper off the bench, 4.7 rebounds, 2 assists. Jeremy Sohan, 3 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists. While Luke Cornett only had 2 rebounds in 3 minutes of play. Olynyk, Waters, Bryant, Shambani, and McLaughlin did not play for the San Antonio Spurs. And now for the Chicago Bulls, we have Nikola Vucevic. He had a double-double, 19 points, 14 rebounds, 2 assists. Ayo Dosunmu, 16 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists. Kobe White, 13 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, and a steal. Chris Paul, 10 rebounds, 1 assist, and 1 rebound, 4 assists. Kevin Huerter, 9 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist. Josh Giddey, 6 points, 5 rebounds, and an assist. Matas Buzelis, 4 points, 3 rebounds, and 1 steal. Patrick Williams, 3 points and 3 rebounds. Followed by Trey Jones, no stats at all, only going 0-3 for shooting in 6 minutes of play. Dallin Terry had no stats. Noah Sung, 1 rebound. Jalen Smith only had 2 rebounds, 2 assists. Nicholas Batum, no stats in 1 minute of play. Zach Collins, no stats in 2 minutes of play. And Isaac Okoro did not play for the Chicago Bulls. And that will do it for your player statistics. It's now time for the post-game ticker brought to you by 2K Sports. We start off with the remaining games for Monday, March 30th, 2026. Got the Heat 133-100 winners over the Philadelphia 76ers. That means the Sixers are now officially a half a game behind the Toronto Raptors right now for that 10th spot. The Hawks Hawks are upset by the Celtics 135-131. So that means the Bulls did not lose any ground as far as the number 2 seed goes. The Suns 134-94 winners over the Grizzlies, keeping pace with the San Antonio Spurs in a game that we just watched, with the Spurs winning 103-80 over the Chicago Bulls. The Mavericks 141-134 winners over the Minnesota Timberwolves. The Jazz upset the Cavaliers 132-120. The Cavaliers just continue to keep free falling in that game. And the Pistons upset the Oklahoma City Thunder 117-100. While the Lakers 126-122 winners over the Washington Wizards. And now they are And now the Wizards are now a game and a half back of the Toronto Raptors at this point for the number 10 spot in the Eastern Conference. And now for the games played on Tuesday, March 31st, 2026. The Magic beat the Suns 140-125, which now puts the Magic in a tie for fifth. Actually, I think they own the tiebreaker now over the Pacers at 38 and 37. The Magic now sitting in fifth in the Eastern Conference. In a meaningless game, the Nets 113-110 winners over Hornets 113-110 winners over the Brooklyn Nets. The Nets now have their 60th loss of the season. The Raptors 142-113 winners over the Detroit Pistons. However, the Pistons still do clinch a spot in the play-in tournament, though, as we got the Knicks the Knicks fall to the Rockets 131-122. And that's kind of important the Knicks win these games because they still could have a chance to have home court throughout the entire playoffs going into the NBA Finals. We have the Lakers 149, the Cavaliers 101 winners. That now puts the Lakers ahead of the Timberwolves by a half a game for fifth in the Western Conference. And then we have the Clippers 120-117 winners over the Portland Trailblazers, giving them now a virtual tie, giving them a tie actually with the Oklahoma City Thunder for the top seed in the Western Conference and quite possibly the top seed overall in the NBA playoffs coming up. And the Clippers, with 6 games to go, will finish no worse than a tie with the Lakers for the Pacific Division. That means a win for the Clippers will give them the Pacific Division crown. Were the games played on April 1st, 2026, and the Wizards 133 and the Sixers 123, which means that actually that Wizards win will now put the Cavaliers and the Heat into the play-in tournament. The Cavaliers and the Heat are now in the play-in tournament. The Heat with a 138-132 win over the Celtics. The Magic fall to the Hawks 114-106. They are third. The Magic now fall to 38 and 38. The Bulls will now fall to the Pacers 104-95. That now means the Heat are now in fifth place in the Eastern Conference by a full game over the Orlando Magic. The Rockets clinched the Southwest Division with a 121-104 winners over the Milwaukee Bucks. The Mavericks 137 and the Grizzlies 127. And the Raptors defeat the Kings 107-100. That means the Kings are now 3.5 games back with 5 to play. 3.5 games back of the Suns with 5 games to play. The Jazz 127 and the Nuggets 119. Now the Timberwolves, I think, are now percentage points ahead of them in the Western Conference. And however, the Oklahoma City Thunder have yet to officially clinch the Northwest Division, but they're about there at that point. And the Warriors will clinch a spot in the play-in tournament with a 109-103 winners over the San Antonio Spurs. And that will do it for the post-game ticker. If your team won, congratulations. If not, there's always tomorrow, or I should say always Monday, since there's no game tomorrow. Time for the injury report for the games played after April 1st, 2026. And we have the 76ers. Embiid is hurt. Bucks are fully healthy. Chris Paul is hurt. Though you see that 2 to 4 weeks, but you know, 2K does like to override things. Cavaliers are still without Jared Allen, Donovan Mitchell, and Luke Trevors. They are actually out. Celtics fully healthy. Clippers, Carter and Jones Jr. are hurt, but Zubats is out. Jalen Wells is hurt for the Grizzlies, but it doesn't really matter. Dyson Daniels is hurt for the Hawks. Rozier, of course, we know about his suspension. Tyler Hero is out, and that's not going to be good. They're going to need him for the play-in tournament. Jaime Jaquez Jr. is hurt. That means he might be in the lineup for the play-in tournament. The Hornets are without Spencer Dinwiddie, but Pat Connaughton and Colin Sexton are hurt, and that is important, even though they are out of everything, in case if we need them for a spoiler game. Because I might do a spoiler game in the final week of the season. Utah is fully healthy. Sacramento, Sabonis and Monk are hurt. Anunoby is still out for another 4 to 6 weeks with McBride hurt. Reeves is out with Achimura hurt. Wendell Carter Jr. is hurt for the Magic. Cooper Flagg is still out 4 to 6 weeks. I thought they were fully healthy for a second, but I guess Flagg is out 4 to 6 weeks for the Mavericks. Williams, Porter Jr., and Clowney are out. For the Nuggets, you have Aaron Gordon actually recovering now day to day, but Christian Braun is hurt. But if we play a Nuggets game in the next week or so, Braun is most likely going to be in the game, whether he has that designation or not. Halliburton, we knew about his injury, and Mathurin is still hurt. Williamson is hurt for the Pelicans, but that's not going to really mean that much, as I believe they are eliminated from playoff contention. LeVert is out, but Saucer is hurt. So now we have the Raptors, Sandro Mamukelashvili. I cannot pronounce his name. He's hurt. Same with Emmanuel Quickly. Fred VanVleet, we knew he was out, but Jabari Smith Jr. is hurt. Wembanyama is hurt, but you notice he played in the last game with that designation. Brooks is hurt, but Brooks is out, but Maluch is hurt for the Suns. Thunder are fully healthy. So are the Timberwolves. Lillard, of course, we knew had that season-ending injury. And, of course, we now know the season-ending injury for Braden Przemski. So he will be out for the Warriors in their play-in game. And the Washington Wizards are fully healthy. Will that really matter, as they are hanging on by a thread right now in that play-in spot? Only one play-in spot left in the Eastern Conference to clinch. And that will do it for your injury report. We have no game tomorrow, no game video tomorrow, but we still do have a video for the end of March looking at how going through the whole standing statistics and award race update. Again, as I said, for statistics wise, we go over the top 10 relevant category, top 10 for each relevant category for both player and teams, as well as how the award races are going, and as well as getting the clear picture of the standings. But when we come back on Monday for the game, we will have the Los Angeles Lakers taking on the Oklahoma City Thunder. The Lakers, I know, have moved up to 5th place, I believe, in the Western Conference. Looking at it, I'll actually have everything. Of course, we're going to go officially over everything tomorrow's video. But I do know that the Thunder and the Clippers are now tied for the number 1 seed in the Western Conference. I know a win and I believe a Timberwolves loss, because of how many games in hand for the Timberwolves, will now give the Thunder the division, the Northwest Division, should that happen. I know a Laker loss will give the Clippers the Pacific Division. And that will do it. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the bell icon to receive notifications when these videos do come out. And also, don't forget, in the link in my description down below, there is a link to my Cash App. If you want to donate, that's great. I do appreciate any amount. But remember, it is not required to donate. Donating is not required to enjoy my content. Though I will tell you this, though, when I finally get to a point where this channel can have memberships, I will have perks for anybody who decides to become a channel member of mine. So do keep that in mind. And with that, we're reminding you guys the final score of this game. The Spurs defeat the Bulls 103-80. I am Vinny from V-Dub Productions, and I am signing off.